gavel. I'm wearing a hat that doesn't fit because I somehow feel like you need a hat to do the Ask Dr. Hal show. I came this close to shaving everything off to just a mustache. It would have been awesome, but it would have looked awful too. It would have just only been awesome for this 2-hour window, and then it would have sucked. So I didn't commit. A good thespian should commit, but I guess whatever. I didn't commit. I didn't do it. So without further ado, where are we at? What's next? Ah, yes, the thing you're all here for. A city that can bring us erudite speakers and excellent performances, such as the one you're about to see. I introduce to you Dr. Hal.
One starred night, Prince Lucifer arose. Tired of his dark dominions, swung the fiend above the rolling ball in cloud parts screened, where sinners hugged their spectre of repose. For prey to his hot fit of pride were those. And now, upon his western wing he leans, now his great bulk o'er Afric's sands careens, now the black planet shadowed Arctic snows. Soaring through wider zones that pricked his scars, with memory of the old revolt from awe, he rose to middle height. And at the stars, which are the brain of heaven, he paused and sank. Around the ancient track stood, rank on rank, the army of unalterable law. Yes, poor Satan is stuck in Earth's atmosphere, or below the orbit of the moon, traditionally, anyway. I'm very happy to be here. It seems to fit our needs perfectly. It's all flapdoodle. Anybody can do it. You know you can do it. The show, which is being broadcast tonight for the first time on FCC Free Radio. Yes, it's finally happened. Now let's not have any more beating around the...
If Pete Goldie wasn't playing Robert Levy, playing David Capurro, I might ask him this question, but I'd rather hear your answer, Hal. Well, when the moon hits your eye, like a big pizza pie, is it really amore?
Well, let's hope it is, because the other reason that would happen would be one with perilous consequences for all life on Earth. If we are ever looking at the moon in the sky, full or otherwise, and suddenly see it growing to inordinate brightness, so that it does indeed appear to strike the eye like a big piercing pizza pie, the only reason for that would be that our sun had inconveniently decided to go nova, to expand, because after all, lunar light comes from sunlight. And that would mean, first of all, the other side of the Earth was getting fried, then our atmosphere would blow off, and eventually we would get it too. However, we'd have a few hours to run around and get even with everybody who had ever irritated us. And that would not be amore, but the opposite. Although lovers might creep off into corners and have one more tryst.
Dr. Hal.
Yes, I'm here.
Is the moon landing really bullshit?
Which of the many moon landings do you mean? Is it bullshit in that it has no validity or value? But it does have a great value for our country. I think everybody in the world who was watching at the time thought, pretty cool, we went to the moon. They didn't think, pretty cool, America went to the moon. They thought, a human finally got there. Isn't that great? And so, all this adventuring in space really pays off a dividend. It also deflects military adventuring into scientific adventuring, which is better. International competition in space beats the competition of war on Earth all hollow. Now, I think there's no doubt that we went to the moon, and it's dishonorable to the people who risked so much to get there, now to say that we didn't. But people also say there was no Holocaust, that cavemen existed with dinosaurs. People say all sorts of things. And people are more likely to believe in legendary or preposterous things like Bigfoot than in things that actually happen. We have a choice in what we want to believe, but we have to realize that we must temper that choice with the knowledge that what we believe and what we assert may not be in line with what actually happened. And you could always be proven wrong and end up with egg all over your physiognomy.
Good answer.
Your litso, your face.
All right, I have a $4 question.
$4? All right.
Is it possible to have an original thought? Is it all hive conscious? Can you give me an example of an original thought?
Well, a thought may be prompted by something that happened. That doesn't mean that your thought is a tropism, an automatic stimulus, which, say, an ant would receive if confronted with an unusual event. Either all thoughts are original, because they are all originated in an individual consciousness, or none of them are, because we are doomed to repeat the synaptic information chatter that a human brain frames. It all depends on whether everything is written down from the beginning of time to the end. And even if it is, we would have to know that writing before we felt at all hemmed in. So yes, they're all original. No, there's no hive mind about all of human thought, only about certain classifications of human thought, like Christianity or the Republican Party.
How far away is a separate reality?
Actually, it's not far away. It's too close. It's right behind the frontal bone that you can touch by pressing your forefinger to your forehead. It simply is a matter of how you process this reality. Because if it responds in kind and if the responses are consistent, you're there. Then the question is, what is the utility of being there? There are separate realities for each individual shard or fragment of consciousness. But the trick is not in pointing out the separation, but in how they elide or agree. It's like
Okay. Why do guys suffer from shrinkage when immersed in cold water?
Well, I think because that's the design specification. Although the entire reason for having that apparatus outside the body is to experience cold in the first place, so it won't be too warm to incubate the vital spermatozoans. Thank God it's you who wrote that question.
I'm getting abused.
Yes, I'm sure there.
This is a con man taking a stunt guy on his first ride out. It's like I'm the newbie,
Let him do it.
and I'm just getting rid. I feel a little bit violent.
Yeah. Well, no. Let's get back to this this question. The shrinkage. The shrinkage is protective. Yes, the shrinkage protects not only the individual but future generations. The only thing it doesn't protect is the amour propre of the individual who shrinks, especially if he's in the cold water, not by himself.
Okay. I'm intrigued by the Broadway tunnel that connects Chinatown to Van Ness.
Well, who is it?
Do you know who it's named after and why? Do you know the name of this tunnel?
Broadway Tunnel.
Oh, in 1983. It was named the Robert C. Levy Tunnel.
Well.
So, yeah. So I'll expand on this a little bit. Like,
yes, you should.
I have a tunnel named slightly after me. My middle initial is L for Lewis, a little tidbit, but the Robert Levy Tunnel, of course, I'm going to look into it. And I was hoping he, I don't know, was a valiant war hero or someone who led a civil rights cause. I was hoping to find a great man, and maybe he was. I don't want to disparage the late Robert C. Levy, but he was a city planner, and did a lot of the planning. He was a bureaucrat. He helped with the maps, and if you go to the Department of Planning, and this is how I sort of found this out, because I thought if I just Googled Robert C. Levy, pages of Wikipedia pages of his travels and travails and deeds of heroism, but nothing. So when I was filling out forms and submitting applications to the city, I went to the Department of Planning, and they've got a little museum section of maps, and they're by Robert C. Levy. You can see on the bottom. He's like kind of a map guy for the city. It's nothing, really not that big a deal. But anyway, I do love driving through the Robert Levy tunnel and saying, someone should steal me that sign. Someone loved me, they would steal me the Robert C. Levy plaque.
But then no one else would know.
They put up another one. You go in at 4 in the morning. I think at 4 or 5 in the morning.
You think Schwarzenegger would?
It would really prove that you love me if someone stole the Robert C. Levy tunnel sign for me.